Hello, you beautiful people. So, I'm guessing you're also curious about the upcoming character banners that will be featured from patch 1.1 to 1.2 in ZZZ, and you want to plan out your savings, right? Well, lucky for you, you've landed on the perfect video to get that info. In this vid, I will inform you guys about all the characters that will be featured from version 1.1 to 1.2, and we will also discuss about the info that we have on their kits right now. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are also waiting for Miyabi's banner, and we also have a little bit of info on that, but we will talk about that later in the video. Before we begin, let me just mention the usual disclaimer that everything which I speculate in this video is not set in stone and might be changed at any point of time, so don't think of it like a gospel and don't take it too seriously either. Also, let me take a bit of time to thank y'all who came from the main channel and for showing your support on this channel as well. I really appreciate it. With all that done, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Starting with a recap of patch 1.0 second half, Zhu Yuan is going to be featured on a limited banner after Ellen's banner ends on July 24th. She is going to be a DPS or an attack type unit who deals damage using the ether element. She belongs to the NEPS faction, and we're getting a lot of units from that faction during patch 1.1, and they might just have great synergy with Zhu Yuan. You probably know a lot of details about her already because she was included in CBT3, so I won't waste your time discussing more about her. Moving on, let's discuss about the banners that will be featured during the patch 1.1. First of all, patch 1.1 will be released on August 14th for the Asia servers and August 13th for the America servers. So, due to the drip marketing, we already know that version 1.1 will feature 3 new characters. 2 of them are limited 5-star characters, and 1 of them is a 4-star unit. The limited characters for patch 1.1 will be Chingy and Jane Doe. Yes, her name is literally Jane Doe. I guess it kind of makes sense because she is supposed to be an undercover agent. If we go by the drip marketing order, Chingy will be released in the first half of 1.1 while Jane Doe will be released in the second half of the patch. The 4-star character who is going to be featured in this patch is called Seth, and according to a pretty reliable source, he will be featured during Jane's banner in the second half. Moving that aside, let's discuss a bit more about Jane and Chingy before we take a look at the banners for patch 1.2. So, starting with Chingy, she is going to be a stun type unit who deals damage using the electric element. Her core is pretty much based around having another stun unit along with her in the team or having a teammate who belongs to the NEPS faction, just like her. Okay, if you don't know about the meta and team formations right now, let me just explain it really quick. So, a good team, as of 1.1, consists of a DPS/attacker, a stunner, and a support. The best example for this type of team can be seen with Ellen, Lycaon, and Sakaku. This team consists of Ellen as a DPS, Lycaon as a stunner and an ice resistance shredder, and Sakaku as the support for the team. Chingy will be really good when you pair her with Zhu Yuan because it activates her core passive. She also deals a decent amount of damage, not on par with an attacker, but still pretty good, while also building a good amount of stun on the enemies. If you're pulling for Zhu Yuan, or if you like to play stun-based units, I think she is a very solid choice to go for. Taking a look at Jane Doe next, she is going to be an anomaly-type character who deals damage using the physical element. She also belongs to the NEPS faction just like Chingy and Zhu Yuan, and her kit is pretty much based around anomaly buildup on enemies and triggering assault. Her kit looks really solid right now, and she is also going to function really well with Grace, who is also another anomaly-type unit. I personally got Grace as my standard 5-star on the banner, so I think I'm going to save everything for Jane now. If you have Grace, or if you like her design, then she is a really solid unit to save for. Also, for anyone who is confused, yes, she is actually a rat girl. Being done with the limited 5 stars, let's talk a little bit about Seth. So, Seth is going to be a defense type unit who deals damage using the electric element. He also belongs to the NEPS faction just like Jane and Chingy, and his kit revolves around providing sustainability by giving shields to your team while also providing anomaly mastery. He looks like a pretty solid character and a very good teammate for Grace as well. I think a Grace, Seth, and Jane Disorder team would function really well and also sounds fun to play. Well, that's pretty much all the info that we have right now on the 1.1 characters. Moving ahead, let's take a look at the banners that might get featured during patch 1.2. Starting with some basic info, this patch will be released on September 25th, if nothing goes wrong with the patch schedule. This version is pretty much going to be featured around Squad 6, and if you don't know who that is, this team is Miyabi Squad. So, Similar to 1.1, version 1.2 will also feature 3 new characters, which includes 2 new limited 5-star characters along with a new 4-star as well. The featured 5-star characters for this patch will be Inagi and Haramasa, and the 4-star will be Lighter. Yes, we're finally getting our first limited male banner in ZZZ after 2 whole patches of release. Let's discuss a little bit more about Yanagi and Haramasa before we move on to the info about Miyabi's release. Starting with Haramasa, we already see him in the story during a cutscene, but I won't spoil it for you, so don't worry about it. This guy is supposedly an attacker or a DPS type unit who deals damage using either the electric element or the physical element. We don't have any other info on his kit right now, so there is that as well. I'm guessing he is probably going to be somewhat synergistic with his faction, but this might turn out to be wrong. Moving on to Yanagi, this is her, and you might have already seen her in the story or the launch trailer. She is going to be an anomaly type unit who deals damage using either the ether element or the electric element. We don't really know their particular elements for now, so I do apologize for it. Lastly, let's take a look at Lighter, who is going to be the 4-star for this patch. So, Lighter is also a DPS or an attacker type unit who deals damage using the fire element. I guess his element was kind of obvious to guess if you look at his name. This guy belongs to the Sons of Caledon faction. As of now, the only 2 other characters that we have from this faction are Lucy and Piper. We also saw some other characters from this faction during the launch trailer, which might get featured on a banner later on. Well, there you go. That's pretty much all the info that we have about the banner that will be featured during patch 1.1 and 1.2. Also, as I promised at the start, let me tell you about the info on Miyabi's release date. So, according to a lot of sources, we're going to get an Ice DPS during patch 1.3, and this DPS is Miyabi. Her kit was already available during CBT1, but changes have definitely been made to that kit, so don't think of that kit as her final one. As soon as we get more info on her, I will inform you guys through a video. So, which character are you guys the most excited to pull for in the upcoming patches? To be honest, my pulling plans have definitely taken a hit due to Miyabi being in 1.3. Also, I didn't mention it before as it gets annoying, but if you liked the video, then do consider subscribing. With that being said, I will see you in another one.